I know what you're thinking. It's about time he pulls out that beef. We're gonna open it up, we're gonna trim it, get it on the offset smoker today. All right, let's mix up our rub. We're gonna be using 50 grams of kosher salt, 80 grams of black pepper, and 40 grams of lawrys. We're gonna take it, we're gonna put it into the shaker. Then we're gonna be using mustard as a binder. Simple hack if you don't have a funnel, take a sheet of paper, like that. Take salt, black pepper, lawry's seasoning salt, shake that up. Let's get right to it. Open up the package carefully, not to cut yourself. Now it's a very good idea to have this as cold as possible. Possibly even put it in the freezer for a little bit, get that fat hardened so that it is easier to cut off. Let's get into cutting this. Right here is a lot of hard fat, and this isn't gonna render down. We're gonna get rid of a lot of this. We're gonna get rid of a lot of this. The silver skin that you see here, we're gonna get rid of that. And then we are going to flip it over and start to take off a lot of the fat off the top. Almost forgot an important part. We're gonna be taking all the trimmings, putting it in this pan, putting some water in it, and we're gonna be rendering that down and smoking it at the same time. Any of this hard fat is not going to do well. Cut off as much of this as possible. I like to scoop out a lot of this. Peel off whatever you can that falls off. Start taking this, get right underneath the silver skin here. If that silver skin's a little too slippery, just take some paper towel so you can grab onto it. Make sure you can still see what you're doing. And then pull that as you cut off as much as you can. I see this slice from the butcher. That's probably gonna end up burning. Try to make that as nice as possible. Cut that off. Try to get as much of that silver skin off of there as possible. Run your knife underneath the silver skin here. Pull it up if you need to a little. Just run your blade down it. There you go. Come back. It's entirely too much fat. It's gotta go. There. You don't want to take off all of it because, well, then there's going to be nothing connecting these two and your meat's going to burn too much. None of this is going to go to waste. All of the fat that I am taking off of here, I'm going to start to chop up and then I'm going to put it out on the smoker and render it. We're going to make a smoked beef tallow. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. Now all of this, we're gonna have to trim down. You could save this for throwing into a grinder and making burgers. Look at that marbling. Hopefully we can get this to a nice even fat cap. Important that you don't leave it too fat, otherwise it will not render. Doing this in front of the camera and making sure that I have good angles. Actually, I'm not even sure if I have good angles, but doing this in front of a camera and trying to make sure that you guys can see is kind of difficult for me. You're welcome. This dangly bit here is gonna burn, so let's cut it off. This part here is a little bit too thin, so I'm gonna be cutting it back to where it's a little thicker, otherwise all it's gonna do is burn. Now this isn't gonna go to waste, this will be ground up. As you can see here, the grain is going this way. I'm gonna be cutting an angle here so that we know where to start slicing this brisket. Again, this will be ground up. Doesn't bother me. So I'm gonna remove this. Now that I've trimmed my beef, it is time to season it. Be sure to shake this up as you go along. That way the salt doesn't settle out. And be careful, but be liberal with it. Now, this is a big piece of beef. It can take a lot. Now that my beef is coated, we're gonna take it outside and we're gonna stick it in the smoker. You wanna come watch? All right, let's get this brisket going. We're taking fat side up and the point towards the firebox because it'll be able to take the most heat. I have a temperature probe right here to read surface temperature. Another temperature probe, stick it in the fat side here, get into a nice thick part. Have nothing to do but wait, maintain that fire in that firebox. Keep it around 275. I have my water pan in there. I'm burning red oak. Here we are a couple hours in. Look at that color. Seeing as the brisket is so thin and small, I'm going to be doing a foil to keep the bottom protected. All right, so the brisket's ready to come off. I'm gonna go set down this camera. I'll take this off and wrap it up. This is the beef tallow that I've been rendering all day long. Fold that under like this, that, fold that over a little bit like that. It's been on the smoker for around 11 hours so far. We're gonna put this back onto the smoker and get this up to temp. I'm gonna let that cook the rest of the way on the smoker. I'm not gonna be filming me taking this off in the middle of the night. I'll see you guys in the morning. After about 14 hours on the smoker and about 7 hours resting, we're gonna cut into this beauty and see what it turned out like. We're gonna cut into Simba here. That chamfer that we cut earlier is gonna indicate where I'm gonna be cutting this because I have the grain of the flat running this way. Let's find this natural divide here and we'll separate this point. Separate this point. Here's a burnt end. Cut this in half this way. As you can see, grain's running this way. So slice this way. All right. Got the droop test, running good. Falls right apart. This tastes so good. Perfect amount of salt. Perfect amount of pepper. The smoke. The smoke is fantastic. Crunchy, burnt end. Favorite part, right here. That's so good. Look at that. Look at that. Just falls apart. Now, any of these little bits that you see on the table, or anything that you feel that is too hardened, like this outside edge, or anything that might be a little bit too dry, don't throw that away. It'll take mac and cheese, or it'll take baked beans from just your ordinary stuff to the next level, which will complete your party. I gotta stop, because if I eat this whole brisket, it's not gonna be good. I have the meat sweats. If you've enjoyed this video and you think you've learned something today, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and remember to follow the smoke on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and all the things that I never thought I would have, because I've never had social media before. You can tell because I've never had social media before. But links are in the description down below. I've completely sold out. You could too by buying this shirt. I'll see you there. Tell me you don't want this. Tell me you don't want my meat in your mouth. I dare you. I won't believe you. You'll say no a couple times, but eventually you'll say yes. And one yes negates all of those no's. Tell me what you'd like to do with my meat. Can you hear that? I like it. Tell me what you want to do tell me what you want. Tell me what you would like me. Hi, I'm Earth. Have we met?